Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back. Today we're doing Alone by Bullet of My Valentine from the 2010 album Fever. So, a little bit about the track. I think what they wanted to do here was write something quite technical and quite long, a little bit like in the Poison era where the songs were unusual structures and they had like lots of modulations going on and stuff like that. I think they wanted to achieve the same thing with this song, like lots of guitar parts. There's even a couple of key changes in there. Loads of riffs. There's a double lead solo and a really fast solo by Mr. Michael Padgett as well that we'll get our teeth into a bit later on. Just one thing I'll say as well, I put the cover for this out last Friday. I'll leave a thing at the top for you so you can go and check the song out played up to speed. So as usual for most Bullet songs, this song is in drop C tuning. So you've got C, G, C, F, A, D. Okay, so that's C, G, C, F, A, D. The song is actually in the key of D minor. We're going to be pivoting off of the second fret a heck of a lot. There is one key change when we're going to go up to E minor, but that's around the middle section, so we're not going to worry about that for now. So the majority of the song is based off of this second fret position. That's going to be our pedal point. Okay, so I guess what the first thing to do here would be to have a look at the rhythm guitars that are going to set up the song underneath the tapping that's going on. So we've just got a bunch of power chords to start with, nice and easy, and we're going to play them through 4 times, and at the end we're going to hang on our low D note right there. Okay, so the chords that you've got, nice and simple. You've got guitars left and right doing this. You've got a C5 position here, I guess you could say, even though we're tuned down now. That's the position, right? So you've got 3 and 5 here on the fifth, starting from the fifth string. Okay, then you're going to go down to this A-shaped power chord here. Yeah, and then you're going to go to this low D here. So far you've got after you do that one, you're going to bring it up to the 5th fret on the low string here. Okay, so all together, nice and easy, you've got okay, and that's going to go on 4 times, like I said, and at the end of it, you're going to hang on that low D note right there, okay, or the D5 power chord now, I guess it would be. So, all in all, both guitars, left and right, dead easy. I'll play it through for you. And that's where you're going to hang. Okay, so nice and easy start. Whoever's, if you're playing this with a friend or if you're tracking it yourself, dead easy. Just 2 guitars left and right doing that. However, what's underneath that is a tapped drum. This is what Matt plays live. Okay, now what you'll see Matt do is he'll make the pick disappear. You'll either stick it there, or you can do what I do, and I just anchor it literally with my first finger there. I do all my tapping generally as a rule with my middle finger. That's the one I'm most comfortable with. The reason Matt gets rid of the pick is he's using his first finger to do it, from what I've seen anyway. So if you want to get the best out of this, I always say have an anchor point, put your thumb on the top of the neck. Yeah, don't just attack it. Yeah, keep your thumb on the top of the neck as an anchor point. So all you're worrying about is just moving your middle finger right there for the tapping. Okay. So for the tap section, what I've done for this, and I think on the album as well, as I've used they use the front pickup. It's got that kind of rich, warm sound that's going on. So I did the same for my cover. I just stuck the pickup selector all the way to the front there, and I'm just using my front pickup for this, and it kind of makes it pop out a little bit more. It's got a bit more of a warmer tone to it. So the tapping run. So before anything happens with the tapping, what you want to do is get your first finger over to 5th fret, and this is all going to be on the B string, okay, or the 2nd string if you like. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be hammering on and pulling up to 8, so that your pinky's going to take care of that, right? You want to kind of get used to the... You want to get used to that sort of motion. I'm just hammering on from nowhere there. And I'm hammering up to 8. And then I'm pulling back to 5. And that's all your left hand's going to do for that. It's nice and easy. The only movement that's going to happen is in your right hand right here. Okay? So to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my middle finger up at 13th fret. And the frets we're going to be covering is 13, 12, and 10 with your right hand. Okay? They're the only frets you're going to be doing, right? And I'm going to start with an open note. So I'm going to pull up on the string. Don't yank it. Just get a note out of it. Just pull up with your first finger. I do that in an upper position. And get that open note out. And then hammer 5, hammer 8. Okay? Now my middle finger even was sat over the 13th fret where I'm going to be doing my first hammer on. Okay? So you're going to go... Okay? So open, hammer 5, hammer 8, and then you're going to tap on 13, okay? All on the 2nd string. Okay? Once you've got that 13 out there, pull off to 8, pull off to 5, okay? So you're just going up, down, right? Okay? Okay? So that's your movement, and each one you're gonna do it 4 times, okay? So okay? Once you get to your hammer on up there at 8 after 4 times, you're gonna move it down to 10. Then I'm bringing my middle finger down to 10, okay? And it's the same amount of times, and I'm always stopping right there on that 8 after running it through 4 times. Okay? Then you're going to go up to 12. Same amount of times, and then back to 10. Okay? And that's the whole run. Okay? So far you've got... Okay? So, and again. Okay? And you're going to do that through 4 times. Okay? On the last one, you're going to go... You're going to pull back onto 5. Okay? I'll show you a little bit how that works. So the last run of it is always going to be on the 10th fret right here, tapping wise. And you're going to go... And then let that note hang, okay? So usually when you be moving on to the next tap, after hammering up to 8 from 5, you're going to pull back from 8 to 5 and let that note hang, okay? So that's what the last run of it would look like, okay? So we're running it through 4 times, and on the last run of it, we're going to play it just like that with the pullback to 5, and that's where that's where it just hangs, and we're going to go into main riffs and stuff like that. So I'm going to play that whole thing for you, nice and slow now. This again is one, rather than me barking numbers at you, it's going to be best that you use your ear and get the feel for it. Use the technique that I've showed you, which is the... If you can get those notes out doing that, you're well on your way. Then incorporate your tapping. Okay, so I'm going to play it really slow. And just to reiterate, the tapping is 13, 10, 12, 10. Okay? So, from the top. I don't know why I'm doing that knob, it's this one. Okay, so. Okay, and that's your intro tapping. Okay, so just, I guess the whole thing with it is just keep it slow. And again. Okay, so it's quite a simple tapping run, really, because you're not having to worry about moving your left hand anywhere. If I've played that too fast for you, just use the little thing below in the settings on the YouTube player where you can slow things down to like 0.75 speed or even slower. And just use your ear, you will get it over time. I'll play it once more for you all. Okay, and then you can hang on to that note right at the end for as long as you like until the riffs start coming in. So I'm going to class this whole thing as intro part 1, and I'm going to take it all the way until the main riffs just come in and they start slamming in together. Okay, so somewhere during that hang right at the end, the main riff starts on the left. Okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to have this. So this very early Bullet Poison era riff comes in, and it starts off while all the guitars are sort of hanging. You'll hear it, just listen out for it. And it comes in on the left, right? So let's have a look at this riff, okay? So what we're doing is we're putting our first finger, you're going to bar it across, okay? You're going to bar it across the second fret right there. I'm going to bar it literally across the last 3 strings there, okay? But my finger is flat across them all, I guess. But the emphasis is massively on the last 3 strings, okay? And you're going to start off with 2 mutes with your palm on the bridge, okay? Okay, and you're going to do this. You're going to string skip and bring your third finger over, and you're going to pick 4th fret on the 4th string, pulling off to 2nd fret with where your first finger is barred, yeah? Don't try and jump down or anything like that. This is how the guys do it. You're just going to make a load of noise. So keep your first finger nice and barred. Okay? Very common metalcore technique, very common Bullet My Valentine thing as well, I guess you could say. So you've got... Okay, so once you've done 2 of those 4s, you're going to do exactly the same thing with 2 mutes in the middle, and you're going to do 5 pulled to 2 instead. So you're going to go with 2 mutes in between again. Yeah, so far you've got... After that, you're going to pick open... just an open C5 chord, I guess you could say. So it's just the open strings there, and you're going to hammer it back onto your pivot chord here, which is your D, 2nd fret. So you've got... Okay, so once you've done that, you're going to have 2 more of the 4s with the mutes in between. So you've got... And again. And again. Okay? And with these bar and riffs, one thing that I would say as well is keep your thumb directly in line with your first finger, okay? Don't have it too far up because you are going to cramp up, okay? Keep it directly, like pinch the neck, have it about halfway up the neck. That's where I kind of keep mine. Keep it directly in line with your first finger, not over here, not further back. Keep it, and try and keep your first finger in line with the fret wire as much as possible. It's a little bit like doing your bar chords, I guess, when you first start learning guitar. So keep your thumb in line with your first finger. And don't push too much with your thumb. If you're going to push from anywhere, sort of push from the middle joint of your first finger, okay? That's going to really do the work for you. If you push too hard with your thumb, especially for this long amount of time through the verses and stuff, you're just going to cramp up like crazy. And the last point I'd have to say on that is be patient with yourself. If you are cramping up and you're new to this whole thing, it's going to happen. You're going to build up lactic acid and all that sort of thing. And you are going to cramp up initially. But if you work on your technique and you work on just not really like gripping the neck, it'll come for you over time. Okay? So far you've got... Okay? Once you get to there, you're going to do 2 opens on the bottom. Now, there's a reason for that, and I'll show you a little bit later on why. But it's as a matter of fact, I'll tell you now, actually. It's so you can easily get to this quicker without making noise, okay? So you've got 2 opens, and you've got... Okay, very Poison, right? So you've got that little run is pick 5, hammer 7, pull back to 5, pull open. Okay? All with 1 pick. Then Then you're going to go pick 4, pull open, pick 4 again, hammer 5. So you've got... So that run from the opens would be... Okay, and keep this all down picked. That's the way they play it. That's the way you're going to want to do it too in order to keep it tight. Okay, so you've got... That's your riff. Okay, so all in all... So you're going to play that twice, yeah? Once while everything's hanging, and it just slowly comes in on the left. Then what happens is everything sort of stops, and you've got some drums countering over that, and I'll show you what the guitar on the right's doing it in a minute. And then you're going to play it another time, okay? Then that's when intro part 2 comes in, and we're going to have a couple of that riff and the counterpoint to it played at the same time for a few runs, okay? But for that intro, after your chords, once you're hanging there, your left guitar can break off and start coming in and play that riff twice. Then everything seems to stop, the hangs stop. Okay? And then it's into intro part 2, if you like, just before the verse. So what's happening on the other side of that is when that riff initially plays, everything's kind of still hanging. Okay? Then what happens is once that riff's played through once, you've got the guitar on the right, which is just going to counter with the drums. It's going to go. Okay? And that's dead easy. You can do that with a down pick or a down up if you like. It's quite simple. I'm just barring the chord right there, the D chord that we're pivoting from, and he's going to go. Okay? If you want a tighter sound, you can just stick to the single note. Okay? So he's going down, up, and then digger, digger, digger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Okay? Then at the end of that, he plays the counterpoint to this. Okay? Which is the higher one, which is this. Okay? And then everything kicks off into intro part 2. Okay? So, you've got... slower. Now that right there is exactly the same sort of thing, picking wise, okay? But you're just going to be playing it a little bit higher up, okay? And the pattern's not quite the same. This time you're going to go 9, hammer to 10, pull to open. So 9, hammer 10, pull 9, pull open. Okay? Then you've got 7, pull open, 7, hammer 9. Okay, so all in all. Okay, so your guitar on the right, after it's done hanging out, everything comes to a grinding halt. Okay, and that is your intro part 1, if you like, yeah? So you've got the chords, you've got the tapping, yeah? And then you've got a couple of runs of the riff, and what happens then is your note assignment, if you like, which guitar, left or right, is going to be doing which part of the pull-off lick, if you like. So that part, it assigns the left guitar is going to be going, and the right guitar is going to be going. Okay? So that's where all that gets assigned. So for part 2 of the intro now, you're going to play the riffs through 4 times. Okay, so your guitar on the left is just going to carry on what it was doing when it first came in during the hangs. You're just going to be playing it 4 more times. Okay, so you've got... Okay, so that's your guitar on the left. The guitar on the right is going to be doing exactly the same thing, pull-offs wise over here, yeah? But when it comes to the pulley-off lick kind of thing at the end, you're going to come up. And do you remember when I said earlier, your pivot point at the end of that riff goes to the opens? Yeah? The reason I know that to be a fact now, after watching them do it live as well, but the reason for that is it gives you time to get up to here to do the... Okay? Otherwise it's just going to be too much of a jump for you. So use that open in between. If you're going to be playing the right guitar, use that as time to get your left hand to come up to do the... So... See how I moved? Yeah? That's going to help you keep it tight. Okay? So that riff runs through alongside the guitar on the left. It runs it through a total of 4 times. Okay? So it would be... Okay, so that's both your guitars left and right for that section, just a total of 4 times. Okay, then what happens at the end of that is your guitar on the left, everything else cuts, your guitar on the left plays this. Okay, again, very Poison, right? So what's this? You're going to pick from the open 4th string, and you're going to do 2 hammer-ons onto 4th fret. Then you're going to hammer onto 7. Okay, then you're going to pull back to 4. Pull open. And then hammer 4. Okay, so that's... So treat that as 1. Okay, so once you've done that, hammer back on and hammer back up to 7. Don't pick again. Okay, so you're sticking 2 more 4s on there. And then pull back to your 4 again. From 7. Okay? Once you get up to the 7, you go back down to your 4, pull open, and then you're going to do a similar thing, but you're going to do 4, hammer 5 instead. So, okay? And it ends on your 4th fret right there. So you're going to stick that on the end. Okay, and it's all from 1 pick at the start. Okay? Okay, so again, just use your ear for that. And it sounds nuts when it's slowed down. It doesn't sound like it should be a, you know, part of a song as heavy and as aggressive as this. But once you speed it up, it's got that, you know, Van Halen clever kind of sound to it with all the hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff. So that's what's going to take us into the verse section. So for verse number 1, and for all the verses actually, I'd say, it's going to be the same riff idea, but you're going to play a slight variation on it. Okay, so I'm going to do the left guitar first, and then God help you if you've picked the right guitar for this song, and you'll see why. Okay, so the left guitar this is Matt's guitar, I guess you could say, in a live situation. He's gonna play the riff. Okay, exactly as he would. Then, instead, on the second time round of running it, instead of doing another one of those, you're just going to do power chords instead. Okay, so you're going to do a C5 right here, positionally. So 3 and 5. Then you're going to take up to 5 and 7. Okay, so you've got... Okay, so those power chords come in after another run of that. Okay, that pick and hammer onto your D note right there. So all together for you. And that runs through twice. Okay, so that's your first section for your left guitars. So you've got... and slow. Okay, and that's your guitar on the left. Right, now, guitar on the right is gonna do, this is Padge's job, yeah? He's gonna do the same thing, and for the pulley licky things at the end, he's gonna be doing his counterpoint up here. Okay, so... Now when you get to there, no power chords for Padge. He gets these 16th note suspended chords, which is very Children of Bodom, you know. So, you know, if you're jamming as a band or something and everybody's saying on this song, who wants what guitar? Pick the left. This is a nightmare to cram in. Okay, so all together, it's from the start of that riff. You're going to play it as you would. Do your little run here. And like I said, when they wanted to make this song as technical, I guess you could say, as possible, that's just one of the things that they threw in. And it works. It's effective. It's really effective. He's just tracing the outline of the chords that Matt's going up on. Okay, so it's... So what is going on? He's going power chord right here, 3 and 5, but stick your pinky over on 7th fret of the 3rd string. Okay, so you've got... And then he takes that shape, exact same shape, up to 5, 7, and 9. Okay? But where it's tricky is he's doing down ups on that. He's doing 16th notes, I believe. So he's going... Okay? So be really mindful with this guitar part, because you've got a lot of jumping around to do and a lot of technicality to take care of, okay? So all in all, you'd have this. Okay, So, and just pay attention to my picking there. I go with the down up, yeah? Okay? Okay, so you've got to get that in between. Okay, so the riff as a whole. Okay, that's actually really hard to get. Okay, so you're going to be playing that through twice now. Okay, so all in all, you'd have this nice and slow now. Okay, so that's your guitar that's all the way over on the right. You play that through twice. And now the good news is we're just going to go back to some power chord hangs now here, which is the pre-chorus number 1. Okay, so after you've done your, after you've done whichever guitar you're doing on those parts, you're going to go, which is a run of the intro chords, okay? Then you're going to do it again. At the end of that, do 2 strums, okay, on the 5th fret one, and then that's followed by natural harmonics here at the 5th fret. Okay, and how I'm getting those is I'm just laying my finger flat. Now, the finger I'd be using, I guess, would be my first finger. So after I've strummed my 2 chords here, I'm going to go on the 2nd string, 5th fret. So after I've done my 2 strums over there on the 5th fret, you're going to go with your first finger, nice and lightly. Don't push on the fret wire itself, yeah? Just hover over it. And the way to get that, the best out of that, is to make sure that you're right over the fret wire, okay? And so on the 2nd string, and you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So you've got... Okay, so you've got to get that in there. Like I said, I think they're just throwing everything in to make the song as technical as possible, because that's what they were aiming for. That's what they wanted. So there's just lots of little bits and bobs in there that, you know, kind of make it that bit more technical to play. I guess they're really just trying to put their stamp on the song rather than, you know, quite a boring chord progression that would be usually. Just spicing it up a little bit, I guess, by throwing some harmonics in. And that's ran through twice, okay? So that is your pre-chorus number 1. Both guitars left and right. I'll do it again for you. Okay? And just making sure once you've getting your first finger over to catch those harmonics there, okay? So on the studio track, that is guitar left and right. In there is buried the most weird riff that I've had to spend ages trying to decode and find out what's going on. In a live situation, Padge will break off and play this one. Okay, so this is where I kind of found out what was going on, because unless you've got the stems, it's really difficult to hear what's actually going on the studio record. So I took to the live performances. I watched loads and loads and loads and loads of them, slowed it down, and this is what I came up with. So over those chords in the pre-chorus, there's a strange riff that's played over the top that is this. Okay, it's actually running down in thirds, so it kind of makes sense. But the way it's played is really odd. I'm going to show it you now. But as far as the rhythm goes, go watch the live performances and really listen to the track, because that's the best way you're going to get the best out of this one, because you need the track in order to work out the rhythm for it, I think. So you've got... Okay, that's what I saw Padge doing on all the live concerts. So this is what's going on, I think. I'm 98%, 99% certain. So you're gonna go. It's all palm muted, apart from the accents that you're gonna be doing. Okay. Okay, so pay close attention now, okay? So you've got 10, 9, 10, 9. And then what I do is I bar my first finger flat to catch 9 on the 4th string. So I've got... So I'm going to go... I'm going down to 7 there, okay? And that is going to be my lead down. You're kind of leading down with your first finger on this one, okay? So I'm going... Once you get to 7 there, just repeat the picking pattern. Okay, so I'm going 9s and 7s this time. And I'm catching 7 with my bar this time. Okay, just like we did with the 9 up here. Lead down with your first finger after that. And you're going to have 5th fret, 5 and 7 now. Okay, so far. Then what you're going to do is you're going to finish it up with a run of what we did earlier, where we started. Okay, so all together. Okay, I'm finishing off with 1 lead down there. That sets you up to do it again, okay? Because this is going to happen 2 times over your power chords, okay? So it breaks off a little early though, just in time for the on the rhythm guitars, and you'll find that's where Padge joins in live, and that's where the riff stops on the record. So all in all. Starts again. Okay, so I believe that's where that riff stops, right down at the bottom there, so Padge has time to get back to the in the live situation, but that's where it stops on the record. So I'll play it through again for you. that's where it would end. Okay, give or take. Maybe there's a few more notes at the end of that, but I'm pretty sure that's where it stops. Okay, so I'm gonna play it through slow once again. And that's where it ends, right there on 7th fret. Okay, so that's your pre-chorus, okay? And these parts are going to be played the same each time when we come around to them now, so really make sure that you're happy with these parts, especially that one, because it's so buried in there. It's so odd. You could play it a lot simpler, and I have seen it played a lot simpler, but the way Padge does it live, I'm pretty sure it's that. And yeah, and it sounded the best, and it kind of fitted in well when I did my covers, so that's why I'm quite sure that it's right. Okay, so with those parts done, that's your pre-chorus number 1. We're going to move into the chorus, which is a nice break from technicality. It's just a load of sort of chugs on the power chords. Okay, so what we've got is something that looks like this. It only runs through once, and it's both guitars left and right. Okay, so you've got okay, so these chugs, you're just going to start with a D power chord right here, and really get your palm really far back on that bridge. Let those chugs really sustain. Don't come too far forward, otherwise you're going to kill the notes off. Okay, you really want like a really sustained, boomy kind of chuggy sound. Now that's one that you're probably best going to be just going for, because it is that simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but I'll play it nice and slow for you. Like I said, this is both guitars. So you've got... Make sure to stick that middle part in between when you're going to come off to the open. Okay, so just pay attention to the picking on that one, and I'm leading in with a lot of down ups. After I've got into it, I'll start with the down, but once I'm kind of going back round, I'm leading in with up picks. Check it out. Now after the end of that, you're going to do something that looks like this. Okay, so you're just going to be doing a bit of accent in there on the open. And at the end of that, you're going to be sliding down, and that's when we're going to be leading into the next verse. Okay, so you're going to go... Okay, so altogether, that section's going to look like this. Okay, and that takes us nicely into verse number 2. Okay, so for verse number 2, it's literally going to be the same for verse number 1. Okay, so you're going to enter with the same riff like from earlier. So you're going to do one run on the left, just like we did earlier, apart from -1. So ignore the riff that was on the hang on the intro. Just play from when when the drums start and everything seems to stop and it's just the left guitar on its own. Okay, so you're going to do one run on the left guitar of the riff. Okay. And the right guitar is going to complement that by doing its. Okay, so that just happens once, exactly the same as in the intro. Then what's going to happen is verse 2 is going to happen, and you're going to play it exactly the same. You're going to run through it twice, just like we did in verse number 1. So just to reiterate, the guitar assignment is exactly the same throughout verse number 2. So you've got the guitar that's on the left doing your power chords between the main riff. Okay, then you've got the guitar that's on the right, which is going to be doing your higher counterpoint right there, and then that's going to be carrying on with its 16th notes as well. Okay, that thing that we learned earlier. Okay. And the way I get that is just strict alternate picking on that one, just to reiterate. Okay, and I keep the pick nice and flat for that as well, because accuracy is key. So I don't want too much of the meat of the pick going through the strings. And as well, another thing as well, keep it light. You're really going to want to keep it light for that riff. Okay, so yep, that's your verse number 2. It's played exactly the same way. Pre-chorus number 2 is going to be exactly the same thing with your chord hangs, with your to finish off at the end, and your crazy pad riff that goes over the top of that. So that's going to be happening exactly the same. So you can do that with ease now because you've already learned that part. Then what happens is you're going to go into chorus number 2. Okay, chorus number 2 is exactly the same, but it's going to be played through 2 times rather than the once that we did earlier. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, so that is your chorus number 2. It's exactly the same, just play it through 2 times, dead easy, and finish with the slide out at the end. Okay, so next what we've got is the pre-solo, which is going to lead in with the twin guitar part, Thin Lizzy, Iron Maiden kind of counterpoint thing going on there. I'll start off with showing you what the rhythm guitars are doing for that section. Okay, so it's actually a key change that's going to happen now. We're going to go up to the key of E minor now. And our positions are going to change right the way through this section and right the way through the solo section, and we're going to be going up to 4th fret, and we're going to be based from there now. That's our pivot point. So it kind of, the song becomes a little bit like Awaken the Demon or Ashes of the Innocent Pretty on the Outside, that sort of thing. Okay, so what's going to happen after you've come out of chorus number 2, you're going to come up to 4th fret now, and when you're at 4th fret, you're going to play pretty much the same rhythm that we were doing for the chorus. Okay, so you've got Okay, so it's just going to run through twice, and that's both guitars, left and right, your big rhythm guitars that are making this massive wall of sound, okay? So just make sure you get your notes in between. I'll play it slower for you now. Okay, so it's all based off of the fourth, second, and open now. Okay, and that's going to be played through 2 times, and that's going to take you into the solo rhythm. Okay, so once more. Okay, so play that through 2 times. Nice and easy stuff. Just use your ear, listen to the track, and you keep the same picking as what you were doing in the chorus, right? Now over the top of that, you're gonna have some leads that come in. Okay, so these leads now are all going to take place at this F sharp position here on the neck. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to slide in. You're going to slide in on the 3rd string. Okay, all the way up to 11th fret. Okay, so you're going to go. Okay, so what you're doing there is you're going to be doing It's like Awaken the Demon, that sort of thing. It's the same pattern and the same shapes. So you've got sliding in, then we've got, and we're just doing some hammer-ons over on the 9th and the 10th fret on the 2nd string. So you're doing hammer-ons, pull-offs, and then you're going back to your starting point, which was 11th fret on the 3rd string. So you've got. So you've got. Then, at the end of that, you're going to go 9 to 11, okay? Very quickly. Okay, so far. Okay, so that's your first run of it. When your power chords are going to go down now, the notes change a little bit. You're going to be pivoting off of this 9th fret now instead, which is on the 3rd string, exactly the same. You're just going to be going back to 9 instead of 11. Okay, so you've got. Okay. Okay, once it goes back to where we were, that's when you're going to play it through another time, and the other guitar is going to come in and play the harmony counterpoint to that. Okay, so you've got all together. Then it starts again. and that's where it finishes right there. Like I said earlier, rather than barking a load of numbers and notes at you, just use your ear for this, and use your feel, because it's a, you know, it's a slow, emotive kind of solo that's going on. So just use feel for it. Just make sure you're sliding in though to start with. And be sure to give those notes a bit of a vibrato as well. Not too much. Don't shake the hell out of them, because it's going to sound crazy. But really like pull on those strings and make it, you know, make it sound sad, I guess I want to say. So okay, so that's one guitar that's doing the solo or little lead break right the way through. Okay, half the way through that, there's a counterpoint to that, or a harmony guitar if you like. Okay, that's going to do this. Okay, so instead of sliding on the 11 there, you're going to slide in up on 14th fret, okay, when it comes in. And you'll hear it, you'll know when it comes. It's when you've done one run of the first one that we did. Okay, so you're going to slide in on 14 there. And you're going to go on you're going to play a similar sort of pattern, right? You're going to do 12s and 14s this time, and then pivoting off of that 14 on the third string, okay? Then you're going to go, which is 13, 14, okay? Okay, so that's the pattern. And that's the part that Padge does in a live situation. Matt would always break off and do the lower one. Okay, in the live situation, Matt's taking care of that. Then Padge comes up. And then he finishes us off right there on the 14th fret of the third string. Okay, so slow. So if you're doing like a cover of this yourself and you're recording it at home, or you're playing with a friend or something, that counterpoint only comes in once the other guitar has done that part once. Okay, so again, I just want you to use your ear for this one, like with all of them, I guess. You know, if you play the notes nice and slowly, like I'm showing you, get them up to speed, play them precisely like this over the actual track, it will sound absolutely spot on. Okay, so after that entire section is done, we're into the solo rhythm guitars. The good news is it's two left and right guitars completely in unison with one another, playing the same riff. So the song stays in E minor for this, so we're staying at the 4th fret, but we're just going to bring our riff now up, okay, on main riff, and you're gonna go. And that's what both guitars are doing. It sounds like an absolute mess on its own. I'll play it slow now for you. So you're just going to play exactly the same thing. The only thing to watch out for is we don't have an open note to go off of. So you're going to have to slide up from 2nd fret. Okay? For your... Okay? So check it out. Okay, so that runs through twice. So don't worry about the open notes that are going to happen here on the lick. It's still in key, okay? That is a C note, and it is still in the key of E minor, okay? So when we pull off, those notes aren't going to clash. It's going to sound just fine, okay? Also, our pull off riff this time is happening from 7 to 9 back to 6, okay? So everything's just moved forward 2 frets, okay? So you've got... At the end of that, you're going to go 2 power chords. Yep, you've got a D5 and an E5, okay? So you've got 5 and 7, up to 7 and 9. Okay? And you'll hear on the last run of it, if you listen closely on the track, that is so quick to get to those from the slide. Matt he kind of like, I don't know, he kind of like lingers in 3rd fret, which sounds kind of out a little bit. So you've got to be really, really quick with that slide. So it's a matter of getting that slide done quick enough to get to these chords. Okay, so you've got... That is a challenge, okay? So, nice and slow now. Okay, and that is your solo section rhythm. Both guitars, left and right, doing exactly the same thing. So after you've done your... We're going to go back to the D minor now, and we're going to go back to our pre-chorus, okay? So coming out of the solo... Okay, so that's played through twice, just like every other pre-chorus we've done. Okay, and over the top of that, of course, is Padge's riff that we learned earlier. So we're going to go straight out of the solo section, straight back into the pre-chorus, which is actually a little bit simpler and a little bit of a breather if you're doing the power chords, especially if you're doing this and singing at the same time as well. I have no idea how Matt does it. Okay, so you've got 2 runs of that. And we're back in D minor now, we're back in key, okay? Then what we're looking at after that, nice and simple, we're back into chorus 3, which is exactly the same as chorus 2. You're just playing it through 2 times. So play it exactly as I taught it you back then with the chugga-chugga kind of riff going on, right? Okay? Then what we're looking at after that is the post-chorus, okay? And you're just going to play the verse riffs, each guitar left and right, twice through, okay? So you'd have on the left... Okay, so that would be a guitar on the left. The guitar on the right will be doing exactly the same thing, just with its counterpoint lick up the top here, and it's of course the 16th note suspended chords right here. Okay, so you run that through side by side 2 times. Okay, and that's when Matt's talking about dying and rotting alone for the last time. Okay, then what happens is that builds up, okay, to the final outro. Okay, so you've got chorus exactly as it was, play the verse riffs through 2 times each, okay, on left and right, and then that takes us into the outro, which is the This Time You Won't Be Heard. Okay, so that is the chords that are played 5 times on your rhythm guitars. Just like on the intro. But when you get to the 4th time round on those chords, at the end of it, you're going to want to start slowing it down. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. This is exactly the same as the intro. We're just going to be slowing down. And the best way for you to get the feel and the rhythm of it is just use the track now, okay? So it's going to be played through, like I said, 5 times. On the 4th time, start slowing it down. And the tap-in follows suit. Also, at the end of number 5, when it's gone really slow, so when you're on the 5th time of doing it, which is the last time, you're going to do a slide down, and the ending is just going to hang on your low D note. Don't go up to 5th fret here, okay? So altogether, it's going to go like this. It's really simple, okay? And then that chord hangs till Kingdom Come, okay? And that's all your rhythm parts for that section, okay? So just you pay attention to the track, pay attention to when the tapping comes in, okay? And the tap-in starts on the 3rd run of those power chords. So Matt does his final vocals about This Time You Won't Be Heard, right? And he's going to do, both rhythm guitars are going to go for the chords 2 times while he sings that. On the 3rd run of it, what you'll find is Matt has stopped singing, and that's when the tapping comes in. And in a live situation, Matt will bring himself onto the forward pickup, I think, definitely on the studio record, and he'll do the tapped outro, which is going to happen 3 times. And the tapping is going to have to slow down with the track. So the tapping starts on that 3rd run of the power chords, yeah? But the power chords start slowing down on the 4th run of it, okay? And that'll be your 2nd time playing the tap-in. And at the back end of that 4th time of the power chords, that's when you're going to start slowing it down, okay? And by the time we've done it for the 3rd time, it's going to come to a grinding halt, okay? So I'll show you it really slow. It's exactly the same pattern as in the intro, okay? So Matt's done his This Time You Won't Be Heard, and this is our last run of the tap-in now. And you finish it just like that. Just like we did on the intro, okay? Dead easy. And just the only thing to watch out for that, if you're playing alongside it, or in my case when I was recording it as well, you've just got to watch the timing of it. You've got to really pay attention to how it's slowing down. Okay, and that's literally it. And that is all the rhythm guitar parts and the ear candy leady parts, if you like, for the song alone. Okay. Thoughts on that one, I'd say, is just make sure that you keep the riff tight, main riff, keep it down picked. Okay. Watch out for the key changes. Okay, and just practice it section by section. If you go through the sections one at a time, you'll find it's quite a pieced together song. You'll be able to piece the whole thing together to make one smooth run. And if you're playing this one with a band, you've got two guitar players, make sure that you're both really clear on who's doing which part. If you follow what I've said here for who does what live, and if you watch the live performances of it, like what parts Matt takes care of and what parts Padge takes care of, you'll find it'll make for a really smooth run. All in all, everybody's quite certain on what part they're doing. So that's all our rhythm parts taken care of, and the smaller leady stuff. Let's have a look at this guitar solo now. Okay, so if you're familiar with the guitar solo to Waken the Demon or Ashes of the Innocent, it's gonna be those similar sorts of shapes. Padge uses very similar shapes for his solo. He gets a lot out of the same stuff, if that makes sense. And that's not saying that he's only got a couple of things in his inventory that he uses. He just makes use of like good scale runs, really good bends, tapped leads and stuff like that. His solos are like Randy Rhoads, right? They're quite composed, start to finish. Again, they're nice and easy to break down into sections, so they're great solos to start playing if you're like you've been a beginner and you're just wanting to get to like intermediate level solos. I really encourage you to go back to the Poison and work your way forward, because Padge's playing gets better and better and better as he goes along and gets faster and a bit more complicated and a little bit more flair in them as we go along. And this song on the third album is no exception of that. He really brings to the table a really good fast couple of runs here and some really good bends. And some tapping as well. So let's get into it. So the first run you've got is all hammer-ons. Now I've seen tabs and stuff like that where they say it's all picked, but I'm pretty sure from listening to it, first run of it off this E minor natural scale, yeah, is all hammer-ons. Okay, so you don't have to worry about fast picking for this. And it's going to go something like this. So you've got, to start with, 14, 16, 18 on the hammer, on the 6th string. Padge likes his full string runs from the 6th to the 1st. He absolutely lives for that. You can see it right the way across the Scream Aim Fire album. So it's following suit, really. So we're going to start on the 6th string and we're going to end up at the 1st string. So you've got 14 hammer, 16 hammer, 18. Then you're going to move back and you're going to have 12, 14, 16. Okay, so then you're going to have 12, 14, 16 again on the same string, and then you're going to move to the next string, which should be 4th string by this point, yeah? And you're going to have the same thing again, 12, 14, 16. So all in all, okay? Once you get there, do on the 4th string, do 12, 14, 16 again. And then you're going to come forward now and we're going to go 13, 14, 16 on the 3rd string. Next string, there's no repeating now. You're going to go 14, 15, 17. Okay? And then 1st string, 14, 16, 17. Okay? So that from the 4th string, you've got this. Okay? It's just scales going up, yeah? Okay? And that's how I break it in two. Do the parts that repeat themselves, and then do that one big run up. So all in all, you've got... Okay? Okay, once you get to the top there, you're going to do a bend on 16, a half step bend into 17th fret, okay? So up to the pitch of 17, I should say, not into 17th fret. Okay, so you're going to pick 16, get some fingers behind it, keep your thumb over the neck for a bend, always, otherwise that's going to happen, yeah? So keep your thumb over the neck. And pick 16 once and bend it up to the pitch of 17. And again. Okay? Okay, and really control that bend and give it some real good shake on the last one. Okay, and be gradual with it. Okay, then come up, keep your thumb over the neck, come up to 19th fret, and what you're going to do is you're going to go... You're going to pick 19, keep your first finger in 17, pick once and do 2 bends. Let down, pull, back to 17, and pick 19 again. So you've got... Okay? Okay? So that whole run would look like this. Okay? Next, what we're going to do is a tap-in run, okay? So get your thumb on top of the neck again, okay? And you're going to do a descending and then a slight ascending pattern, okay? So we're going to have 14 and 17 to start with our left hand, yeah? And all the tapping is going to take place from our middle finger on the 21st fret, okay? So you've got... And the way I'm getting that, it's exactly like kind of the... Where I start with an up pick with my middle finger, not a tap. So I'm going to have my first finger on the 14th fret of the first string ready, and I'm going to pick upwards with my middle finger, and then I'm going to hammer 17th fret, and then I'm going to tap 21, okay? So... And it happens 4 times. Okay? Okay, once you've got that, keep the tap there and move your first finger down to 12th fret, and you're going to have 12 hammer 16 now, and then you're going to be tapping on 19, okay? So you're going to have... Okay, so as a run... Keep that 21 note right there, and then position change your first finger down to 12th fret, and that's where you're going to be pulling off to, okay? And then hammering onto 16, okay? So... Okay, so all together. Okay, so it's a case of just leading down and making sure that once you finish on that last note of your tapping run for that section, you keep it there and you move your first finger down to the next little box that you're going to be in, okay? That gives you time, and then you pull off to that next note that you've gone down to with your first finger. Okay, so once we've got the 12, 16, 19, once we've landed on the 19, we're going to go 10, 14, 17 then, okay? And it's exactly the same pattern. Okay, then once you've done that, you're going to go back to 12, 16, and 19. And finish with your tap on 19 right there. Okay, so all together, you've got... Okay, and leaving your finger there on the tap, that gives you the time, like I said, to get moving to your next position with your first finger. So, for instance, from the start, once I've got that there, that's not going anywhere, yeah, especially in that short amount of time. So that's keeping a note. So don't be afraid to let go here and move to the next spot that you need to be in, okay? So... Okay, and that's your tap and run. Okay, so keep it slow. Remember the patterns, and it's quite a simple one. Okay, next we've got the probably the most difficult part of the song, which is this alternate picked run. This is definitely alternate picked. No hammer-ons here. And also, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were just discussing about whether he thought it was either economy picked or alternate picked. And I made the point that you can see Padge going for it with the alternate pick live. I don't think Padge is much of an economy picker either. But the other thing I'd say is, because it's so fast, you can really hear the pick scraping on the strings, especially the wound strings. In a live situation for this section, the band will stop dead and just let Padge do this part on his own. And you can really hear him scraping the strings. If it was economy picked, it makes for a much more smoother sound. I mean, go look at Sin Gates, right? Sinister Gates, Avenged Sevenfold. It's a really smooth sound that you've got going on there. With this, you can really hear the aggression and the attack of the pick that Padge is going for. So this is all strict alternate picking on this one. So what have we got? It's patterns going up. Okay, just start with that. And if you want a really smooth sound, go onto your front pickup. That's what I did, and it makes for a really concise sound. So we've got 9, 10, 12, and keep it alternate picked. Then we're going to do a Paul Gilbert style thing right here and go 9 on the 4th string, and then lead it back down where you came from. So get that down. Okay? So you're going up, then coming down. Then that's your pattern. Then you just do 2 runs of the 9, 11, 12, 9, 11, 12 on the 4th string as well. Okay? So you've got... Okay? And I will say here, keep your palm on the bridge. This is palm muted. Okay? And be sure to keep it far back enough not to kill those notes. Yeah, get it right the way far back. Once you've done that, just repeat the pattern going up now. Now it's just a case of going up the scale, if you like. So now we're going to go... You're going to go 9, 11, 12 again. And working your way back down. Then this time, you're going to go 9, 11, 13. Okay? So. Okay? So all in all, okay? Then once you get to there, you're going to go on to the next string, follow the pattern, and you're going to go 9, 11, 13, position change with your first finger, and you're going to have 10, and then we walk it back down, same pattern again. Now, as far as what fingers you're going to use there, you can choose for that middle note, okay? Keep your pinky on the furthest one going this way always. Keep your first finger taking care of whatever's going to be furthest this way, okay? And in the middle, well, guess I'm using my my third finger right there, okay? So I'm going. And with these licks that start to spread out, keep your wrist inward toward the body of the guitar. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Pivot your wrist inward, okay? And you'll find that these fingers become longer and have more reach, okay? So again for you, toward the body of the guitar, not inward. Yeah, that way. You'll find that way. You'll find then you've got a little bit more reach. Okay? So far we've got... So once you've got your 10, 12, 14 now, the pattern's going to repeat. Okay? And you're going to do the same pattern. So you've got 10s, 12s, and 14 on the first and second string. Okay? So all in all... Okay? And when you get to there, your palm's starting to come off just a little bit. You're starting to let those notes ring out a little bit more. So don't be too worried about following right the way down with your palm. Okay? And just treat it as sections. Keep it slow and keep it... Let it be jerky, yeah? Let it jerk along, yeah, to start with. Okay? Okay, so that's the run of it. Okay, so that's your run of that. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to ascend at the end of that. So what we're going to do is 12, 14, 16, twice. All picked, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then you're going to come forward, 14, 16, 17. And then you're going to come forward to... 16, 17, and 19. Okay? So you've got... And you're going to stick a great big bend at the end of that. Okay? On the 19th fret, first string. Let it up, let it down, and pick again. So far you've got and stick a great whole step bend on the end of that. Lay it down, then do 17, hammer 19, pull off 17. Then you're going to go 19 on the second string, 17 on the second string, and then we're going back into key then, down, so this is why it sounds odd, but the chords are shifting back down into D minor at that point from E minor. So you're going to finish up on 20th fret on the second string, okay? And that's that lick. Okay, so that run in its entirety, coming out of the big fast run here, it carries on, and you're going to go. Okay, and there's your guitar solo. I'm going to play the whole thing through now, nice and slow for you, so hopefully you can get up to speed. Okay, guys, and there you have it. That is Alone by Bullet for My Valentine. Think I've pretty much covered all the guitar parts that are in this one. It's a bit of a marathon, so be patient with yourself. It's nice because it is quite structured in the fact that it's quite verse, chorus in a way. Be patient with yourself on the solo. Keep your alternate picking tight. Keep it slow. Keep working your way up. Slow the track down. Slow this video down if you need to. And yeah, as always, like I said, just be patient with yourself. So if you're still here, thank you so much for staying the duration of the lesson. I hope you learned something. I hope I've been as accurate as possible. If you've got any questions, just hit me up on Instagram or drop a comment down below, let me know. Link to my Instagram is down in the description as well. And a big thank you for all your support. Big welcome if you're new here. And a huge thank you to everybody who's been here since the beginning as well. So that being said, I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in and take care, guys. Be well.